Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make the most amazing gnocchi. You're going to love it, so let's get to it. So what you're going to need are 6 medium to large potatoes. I prefer to use the Desiree potato or the red skinned potato. You can use other varieties like the golden variety, but this is my preference. It cooks well in the oven. Secondly, you're going to need type 00 flour, 1 1/4 cups, 1 egg, 1 flat teaspoon of salt. You will need a ricer, as I mentioned. You're also going to need 2 trays. For 6 potatoes, 2 of these trays with parchment paper is suffice. And that's basically it. So let's do it. We don't need to peel these as some potatoes require. So these have just come out of the oven. What I suggest you do is that you get a knife and poke it through just to ensure that it's soft and tender. So I would say anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on your oven. Just watch it as you go. So straight onto a clean bench, and obviously with clean hands, I am going to mash the potato onto the bench surface, just like so. And as you can see, the potato skin sticks and comes off quite easily. So that will save you a whole lot of time. So lay it out finely across the bench, just so that the steam just comes out of it. You need a little bit of arm strength for this one. That's okay, it's all part of it. I have the beautiful tomato sauce cooking in the background there to put on the gnocchi once it's prepared. It's my favorite way of serving the gnocchi. It's not overpowering, I find. There are many ways that you can serve your gnocchi. You can serve it with the basil pesto or with a butter sage, napolitana, bolognese, gorgonzola sauce, whatever you prefer. The world's your oyster on this one. Okay, so the type 00 flour, 1 1/4 cups. Pop it into the sifter so that we can add our seasoning, so that we can have even distribution through the flour. I'm going to put half of the salt into the flour, and the other half of the salt I'm going to add to the whipped egg. So I'll just pop that on top like so. So as you can see, the steam has lifted, and that's how we want it, because you will find that the more steam and water that's in your potato, the more flour it will absorb. The key to beautiful light gnocchi is to put minimal flour. So now we add our egg and our other little bit of salt. Give it a little whisk. Okay, I'm gonna add a little well to the center of the potato and the egg in the middle. Now we fold the potato into the flour and the egg, like so. I have been making these potato gnocchi since I got married. It's been about 14 years now. Now we fold it in nice and gently, like so. Gnocchi is actually my favorite food. If there had to be a last meal that I would eat, it would have to be gnocchi. So not everybody rests their gnocchi, but I do. It is a lot easier to manage once it's rested, especially because it's still nice and warm. So once it cools, I find that the gluten rests, and it's just a lot easier to manage. So I do highly recommend you do that. Okay, so it's been about half an hour. Now it's time to flour our bench. Like so. Make sure it's well floured. If you don't well flour the external part of the gnocchi dough, it will be hard to manage. So I dusted the table. Now I'm dusting the top layer, and I'll bring it back together. So now we're going to cut up and roll our gnocchi. So I just like to do it in just just in segments. So we'll slice the first bit and give it a nice roll. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze them. Once they've set, probably about 2 to 3 hours, I'll pop them into little freezer bags. And I've always done it this way. It's one of those things, you know, someone comes over and says, oh, you've been working hard all day. Oh yeah. No, actually, I just pulled them out of the freezer, but we don't need to tell them that, do we? So I've got some water boiling behind me. So I will freeze the majority of these, but I'll boil just enough to show you how to cook the gnocchi. So beautiful, and it's so soft, the dough, and that's how we actually want it to be, because that's what's going to give you the light texture, fluffy texture in the potato dumpling. The pot of water has nearly come to the boil. I have already put probably a large tablespoon of salt in the water, which is what it requires. It sounds like a lot, but it actually needs to taste like salt water. It obviously doesn't go all into the food, but the water and the taste obviously has an effect, a dramatic effect actually. If you leave the salt out, it won't be the same. Okay, so the water has reached boiling point, and I'm gonna add the beautiful gnocchi to the water. Okay, so I'll give them a light stir at the bottom just to ensure that they don't stick. Okay, you can see they've started to come up to the surface now. So allow them to float on the top of the water for about 10 seconds, and then we gently remove them. Ensure that all the water is out. Put into the plate. I'll just give one of those a taste. They're actually perfect. Perfect. As I said, they aren't so easy to manage because of the soft consistency, but overall, it's not necessarily about how they look or feel, it's about how they taste, right? So this has turned out amazing, so you have to give it a go. I'm gonna try it with some of my homemade wine that we made this year, and also my beautiful pesto that I preserved, and now I'm gonna try it. And it's perfect. So I am stoked. The dish has turned out amazing. I just want to remind you that I have these recipes in some of my other videos, how to make pesto and preserve it, also how to make Napolitana sauce, as well as now the gnocchi video that you're watching. You can follow me on Instagram. I'll keep you up to date. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. I'd really appreciate your support. Thank you. Bye. Just wait for all the noise to finish and then I'll get started. Jeez, this is difficult.